I'm gonna steal it.
What?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Boom! Shakalaka turner! You're out on the floor! Ejectocito, cuz! It worked! I love this part! Please! Come on!
Goodbye, Benny.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is gonna be a special week for you on the Millennial Classics. Happy Halloween, and you're back with yours, Swadik Mayanja and Mamburi Makaya. Mamburi, how are ya?
Doing good.
Very good. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on this podcast, on the Millennial Classics, we talk about the best and most memorable movies, music, and culture-changing events. From our generation, being the millennials. Sorry, we had a little bit of a rough start. You can see I'm outside. I'm living my best life. Join me. Mumber, what movie are we doing? Why is it a millennial classic?
We're doing the Conjuring. This is actually the toughest pick we've had to pick so far. This actually isn't the original movie we're gonna do. We'll talk about that at the end, but
yes,
we settled on the Conjuring, which is the latest probably movie that we've done, right? 2013.
No, we did Black Panther.
Oh, right.
We did Black Panther, but that was like special situation, occasion type thing.
It's real tough because I'm not a huge horror person, and Swardik, are you?
I used to be, and like as a kid, it was like the greatest thing. And me and my sisters, we used to all horror was a thing for me. And then somewhere along the line, it starts getting older. You start knowing what everything is supposed to happen, and then it sucks. So, but anyways, yes. So I can understand why someone couldn't be, because once you stop getting scared, then it stops being fun, and it just starts being very frustrating watching people on screen make bad decisions the entire fucking movie, right? So, anyways, you can already see how I already feel about this movie, but I have a whole lot of thoughts, and for scary movies alone. Anyways, I think it's good.
So, just before we get in, what was the last horror movie you saw like in theaters back when you were allowed to go?
Oh, that's a really tough question. The last horror movie I saw in theaters, I couldn't tell you, bro. I mean, it wasn't worth it.
Was it Us?
Oh, probably.
If
that's a really good one, because I don't think it has to be an event. It would have been Us. I definitely saw Us and Get Out in theater, so one of those two.
Because I'm the same. I see a lot of movies, but I think it was Us or Midsummer. Those are the last two. But the reason I don't like horror is because I don't like just gore and scary shit for the sake of it just being scary. This movie is different. That's why I picked it. This movie, Insidious, there's actually a pretty good story, pretty good acting, but the story and the direction make this movie. Directed by James Wan. We said it came out in 2013.
Yep.
The budget was 20 mil. Huge hit though. Box office 319. Rotten Tomatoes 85. So critical hot darling. Huge hit. This movie is it's actually, I think for people who aren't horror fans, this is a movie I would give them because it's actually almost a detective mystery movie too. There's a little bit of digging in they gotta do. There's a little bit of info they gotta get. They gotta recruit the right team. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here that I think makes it bigger than just a horror movie.
I agree. So look, listen. It's hard for me. Before we go, Larry, do you have a bar set? What's your this is what I expect horror movies to be? Because as a kid, watching The Exorcist, The Exorcist, homegirl running down the stairs, legs bent backwards or whatever, right? That was my bar for I need to be this scared, I need to be this engaged, I need to be this interested, right? And this is very much like The Exorcist because the lady gets possessed. I mean, it really is the same thing, just a different house, different built up to the story. Do you have that set bar for a scary movie, or is it everything's different for you?
Everything's different. I don't know if I don't know. For me, it's like this movie it doesn't really have scary moment. Like it has jumps but it's never gets to the point where you're like, fuck this. Right?
There was a couple of times where I was like, so this is a little wild. Okay, we'll get there, but yes, okay, that's fair. So I'm guessing you don't remember where you were when you watched it the first time.
I watched this in theaters. I watched this in
real?
theaters because I hated scary movies, but I ended up watching this.
Oh,
And I just remember, the thing I remember the most was the clapping scene.
Oh yes. The thing I remember the most about this movie was the couple, because they're like, I love that couple, Lorraine and I keep forgetting the guy's name.
The OGs.
But the OGs, right? But I remember them a lot more in a different movie. There was a movie that they're in that at the end of the movie there's like a Elvis Presley song, and he sings the song to his wife. I don't know if it's which Conjuring it is or what.
They're in The Nun, Conjuring, and Insidious, I think.
So one of those two, probably
I think it's
the
probably
Nun.
Insidious. Or maybe it's Nun.
Either or. My point is, I was remembering them singing the Elvis Presley song, and I was waiting at the end of the movie. When are they going to do it? Because it was like the really cutesy thing. And I love this couple in this movie, and that's who I remember most about the movie, and that's what I remembered coming in.
Warrens, yeah.
Yes, the Warrens. I like them quite a bit. Let's jump into my time machine. We're not going way back, but I decided, with the craziness that has been happening, let me just remind you what was going on July 19th, 2013, when the Conjuring came out. Anyways, Lance Armstrong admitted to doping in all of his Tour de France races, cycling his whole career, and he did this in that big interview on Oprah Winfrey. Remember the good old days, right? When we thought Lance Armstrong was all that, right? Sony releases PlayStation 4. Twitter goes public on September 12th of that year. Edward Snowden leaks information about the NSA's secret internet and cell phone data gathering program.
So quiet.
Mabari, huh?
Quiet.
Exactly. And speaking of which, your favorite part of the time machine, Mabari, I got a lot more than the top 5. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 18. I have 8 movies here. I want you to just give me what you think is on the 2013 list of top movies.
This is so tough because I was in Kenya this year.
Ooh.
So, but was Dark Knight Rises on that list?
Nope. Not
Transformers?
2013.
Transformers?
Nope, not the top 8.
2013, was there a Spider-Man movie that came out in 2013?
I'm sorry, what is going on with you?
Alright, 2013. Was it Toy Story 3?
Okay, let me give you a hint. No. There's a Marvel movie here.
Oh. Iron
Yes?
No,
Go ahead.
Iron Man 3.
Yes, Iron Man 3 is one of them.
Okay, okay. No. Alright.
Okay, now you're in the right mindset.
Now I'm in the right mindset. Alright, 2013.
History 8 is... Go ahead.
Iron Man 3. Let's do a little bit of Batman vs. Superman.
Close, very close. Man of Steel.
Okay.
Man of Steel.
Okay, and then let's throw a little bit of Wonder Woman.
No.
Okay, I'm reaching. I don't know what I'm doing.
Of course he is, but you close enough. All right. Iron Man 3, Star Trek Into the Darkness, The Great Gatsby, Man of Steel, World War Z. We got to talk about World War Z. That is such a that movie. I thought when it was coming out was gonna be silly, but I ended up loving it. All right.
The book that it's based on is so much cooler than the movie we got. I was actually kind of pissed.
See, and that's what everyone says. I don't know. I'm just starting to get into reading, but I have to watch a movie that I read a book on after I read the book. We'll figure it out. Anchorman 2, American Hustle, and then the movie we must do, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
So those are the top movies of 2013. Mabari, let's stop beating around the bush. Let's get into this Halloween spirit and talk about the scary movie that is The Conjuring. Favorite scenes, hit me.
Alright, so first, I like the intro with the demonic demonic spirit explanation. Because I like how they don't keep this shit a secret for the whole movie.
Oh
right?
yes, I love it.
In the
Exactly.
beginning, they're explaining that shit in the college lecture. They're cutting back and forth. These guys are getting haunted, but then these guys, they're explaining it. You know, these guys are the pros. They're gonna have to bring them in. It's like, you know, when you got like cockroaches.
Wait, what are you
Or
talking
like
about?
you got cockroaches, or your internet's down, and you just need to get the Comcast guy in or the Pest guy in just
Yeah.
to do his job. That's what these guys are. That's what it feels
Exactly.
like. You got to bring in professionals. So that's my first favorite scene because it really, really sets it up.
I do like that scene. The reason I like that scene is because you watch these movies, right? And they have to balance it between, like, this is obviously a scary movie. We're talking about demons and shit, so it's not gonna be like, this is not real life. But then you also can't take it way too seriously, right? So in that scene when they're introducing and they're in the college, whatever, and then they were like, "What did they call you guys?" And they start off with like, "Ghost hunters, I'm like, all right, here we go. And then they were like, "Kooks," and I was like, yes, these are legitimate people. Like I can believe it, right? But another good thing about that intro scene, those ladies, Mumbury, let me ask you something. If someone says, "I want to be your friend so much, can I live in your doll?" Do you say yes? Do you say yes to that?
No.
It's insane. Like there were 3 nurses. I was like, yes, these are nurses. I'm so proud of them. And they were like, yeah, we told our neighbor they can live in my doll.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, okay.
Dude,
So
I literally was like, what are these people doing?
right? And that's what I'm talking about. Crazy decisions. All right. Anyways, moving forward. Yes, I do appreciate that scene.
Let's do 3 claps with the mom.
3 claps with the mom. Yes. Okay, back to the house.
The first
Okay.
time, so they're playing the clapping game,
Okay,
and
yes.
then there's that clapping in the closet,
Yes.
and then she's freaked out. But the whole time, the tension the tension, dude. When I just said the tension, do you know that the Will Ferrell YouTube video
Yeah.
on Eastbound and Down, and he's like, the tension. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yes.
I'm going down to the farmer's market.
Feel the tension in the air.
Yes, I'm gonna put that in here. No, but I agree. Good scene. I think that's building up the tension, and it's so hard for me in this movie. Good job on picking the scenes, because this is one of those movies where, like, there's good tension building, and then there's like nothing, and then it's just setting, and then good tension building, nothing, then just setting, and then like scary. So it's hard to pick an actual scene, but this is before things get out of whack, right? Where people are getting tossed around the room, right? But it's enough tension where you're still paying attention to the movie. You don't want to miss anything. You're keeping your eyes open. Like the girl is going to do some wild shit. I'm playing a game. She's going to go hide. The mom is going everywhere. It's a great scene to build tension in the movie where you haven't seen the bad, scary monster, lady possession demon yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then after that, which pretty good segue, because it's the mom in the basement scene. When she goes down there, she brings the matches, she lights them, and you see some shit, and then the matches go out, and she's gotta light it again and light it again, and she freaks the fuck out, and then she runs up the stairs, door is locked, and then she gets to the clap, and then she just loses it. I mean, this is probably the best scene in the movie, and then she's like, honestly, she takes an L here, because I don't care if I ever lose it like that, which I would lose it in that situation too.
Okay.
I would break that door down. I don't care if I gotta like burn the door down with the matches I got. I don't care what happens, but the fact that she was stuck in that basement door thing for like hours until the husband came out is wild to me.
No, it's too long. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Yeah, you gotta break the door. You gotta break something. And like, yes, it's another good scene where like things are really starting to turn up here. Mampuri, how do you make the decision where it's like, all right, enough is enough. I'm leaving this place? At what point in the like would you let it get to this point? Is it this point that you're like I'm out, or was there anything prior?
A little bit past it. First off, the dog dies quick. Dog dies pretty quick. Dog dies pretty quick. All right. So I'm guessing they just got that dog. That's the only thing I can understand. They just got the dog. They were annoyed by it. Dog probably shits everywhere, and they were like, This is the type of shit where the parents have had the convo of whether they should just put down the dog. And like one of them was like, no, it'll devastate the kids, and the other one was like, all right, fine, you're right. But then the dog just dies, and then they just don't mention it because that's the only way I could see that the dog just dies, and they're just like, all right.
They literally like it was a scene of looking at the dog hugging the kid, and never again. Just all right, the dog is dead. No one knows what killed it. We're not gonna report it. Call anyone. Like the dog had its neck broken. Are we not looking for someone? Is there no concern, right? At least your neighbor. Call someone.
Dude, all right. And if you're gonna live in a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, I would Google some shit about it. I don't know.
There's no Google, bro. Did you see those cars?
Hit the local library, bro. Do something.
Just see what happened there 10 years ago. Yes. Okay. All right. Next scene.
But you would at least know who were the last people to live there were, right? And if anything wild happened to them.
Of course you would, but I feel like I don't know what the dates were, but I think it was like from 1930 something then to 1970s. So that's a long time, bro. That's like a long time.
No, but there's so much shit in there that they were like, they must have been like, oh, whatever.
Oh, but that was in the cellar where it was locked up. Like, I really think if you look at the dates, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what did the realtor really tell these motherfuckers to get them into the house, right? So, yeah, but I hear you. I definitely hear you.
And then, dude, if you see a crawl space and then you open it up and it looks like nothing's been there for years.
Yeah.
The dude's just like, oh. The dad's like, oh, free real estate. I was like, you didn't know there was a basement? There has to be another, like that. All these places have basements. You can see from the outside. What do you mean? There's windows and shit. How do you not know there's a basement?
No, I know what you mean.
I mean, they bought this house the way people buy iPhones. Oh, yeah, shit.
This is new?
It plays music too? Oh, shit. I got an iPod with this. That's wild. That's how they bought the house, because they're just like, basement?
Like everything there is new to them. Oh my goodness, look at the lake. Oh my goodness, look at the tree. Oh my goodness. It's like, all right, did you look at anything? But the thing is, when he goes down there, and this is one of the things that like irks me to my core, that happens in all scary movies. He goes down there with the match, and it's a little thing, right? But the wife is like, what's happening? Nothing. Why don't you just respond? Just respond. You're in a cellar with a match, right?
No, but I'd be bad, because it's like, all right, it's a basement. What is happening? What do you mean what's happening? I'm down the stairs.
I get okay, that's fair. It's just
it'd be like if you were in the car, I got out to go fill up the gas at the gas station, and then after like 2 seconds, you're just like, what's happening? I didn't know you, but I'm filling up the tank with gas. It's just.
You're right. Because I'm watching the movie knowing it's a scary movie. He's just living his life walking into a cellar that's been blocked off for 150 years. All right, we'll pretend that it's. All right, go ahead.
Next scene is the interviews, dude. The Warrens show up to the house. They mean business. They interview people, and then they do that slick shit where
what are you talking about?
You know. Dude, when they go back home and they're playing the interview tapes, and they were like, it didn't interview anything. And I was like, ooh. Dude, that's some slick shit.
We need to talk about the house because it freaks me out. But that scene didn't pop out to me at all. Please expand a little bit more because I'm a little confused as to when it happened.
So they show up to the house.
Okay.
Vera Farmiga, Lorraine Warren, it's like she looks a little weirded out, but they get in the tour and then they sit down and then they explain what's going on, and they're just listening and recording.
Oh, okay. And this is just like when they come and they setting up the wires and the cameras and everything.
Before that. This is before that. This is
Oh,
when they
just to
first show
meet the
up.
family. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes.
And then
Okay.
everyone's sleeping downstairs.
Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. Sure. I guess I'm not. That scene, like I said, didn't pop out to me that much. But when she did come up to them after one of the lectures or whatever, and the husband was like, "No, thank you." I'm sorry. How often do you think that is? And like, I guess the wife is this clairvoyant super queen thing. But like, are you supposed to just be like, "All right, I believe you. Like, this is serious. I'm gonna pick up my things."
I'd be the dude that's like, if I go there and there's some goddamn floorboards, I swear to God.
That's what I mean. Because I feel
If it's
like
a goddamn pipe, I am gonna take some shit out with me. I'd be the worst demonologist in human history.
Of course, but I also like that going back to the point of making this a realistic situation. The first time they go up there, they go upstairs and they're like, look, there's an open pipe, there's a vent. That's probably what making the noise. He kicks it, it makes this woo-woo sound. And I'm like, this is legit. I can believe them when they're saying something supernatural.
If they wanted to be really legit, they should have shown up and been like, ooh, yeah, this is like a grade 5 demon, man. This is above my pay grade. Listen, I'll get you a referral. I know a guy, lives up in Boston. He'll come down. He's on vacation right now, so you're going to have to live for about a week and a half. But he'll come down. I'll give you his number, and you call him when he gets back.
Right?
Deuces.
Just say your prayers and good luck.
Let me give you a couple of Hail Marys and deuces.
All right. Any more scenes?
The crew shows up and sets up. I like that.
Yes.
The cop shows up, they get the van, they get all the equipment, and then that's when you're like, this is what I like about this movie, because it's not one of those movies where like they're just getting hunted one by one and you just have the feeling everyone's gonna die and all this shit. You know?
Yes.
No one actually dies in this movie. That's why I like it. It's like they're going mano a mano, but they don't go do it by themselves. They get the right help. They let the pros come in, take care of business. The pros actually are pros. They know what they're talking about.
And it's good. I like it. You're right, because in most of these scary exorcism movies, the entire focus is on the family, right? And you don't get to see anything about the pros until it gets so bad that you need to go reach out to the pros.
In. Yeah.
Exactly. So it is nice that you understand where the pros are coming from, and then when they actually come and set up, they're doing what they're doing from Mumbai. And I know like the whole point is to like record like the invisible things moving and all that woo woo wow woo, but it's also a problem because it surprises me like that the end goal is like, are these demons not? I mean, these demons, like later in the movie, the demon uses a shotgun, but they're not smart enough to not get tripped by a tripwire.
No, the tripwire, it's not an actual wire, bro. It's just they can't help it because they change the temperature when they go by, and then when they change the temperature.
Okay. Oh, look at you taking notes with the temperature.
Dude, I've already talked to the Vatican. I'm getting accredited this summer. COVID.
You're gonna be the next demonologist. First black demonologist. All right, keep
you
going.
show up to a house, and they're just like, yeah, like the demon's not that bad. We just can't let you in, bro. I'm not racist. I just don't know you.
I'm gonna hang out with the demon. Let me know when the white freeze. You're an asshole. All right. Okay. What's the move? Any more scenes?
The mom gets kidnapped all the way until they get her into the chair. It's like probably the climax.
Yeah.
When they're just freaking out. They're all rushing to the house. It's just all good shit.
Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about, because now it starts to get hard, because when do you start that scene? Because I feel like that's
when they get the call that she took off.
That took off with the two kids.
Yeah.
All the way up until they tie it down to the chair.
Yeah, it's not that long. I think they literally rush right to the house, and then they're all looking for her. One of the dudes is like looking for the kid. They're like in a floorboard, and then the other kid is like stuck in the car, and then they look for the mom, and she's downstairs, and then they tie her up.
Yeah, that entire scene where shit starts to really get
But
wild.
the camera's going wild. The camera's going left and right, and people are running up and down in the house. And it's just, I think it's the climax, because after that is when they start doing like
the actual
shit.
exorcism, and then
We don't have time for the exorcism. I'm gonna have to do this shit myself. That's what I love that shit. We don't have time for this.
We don't have time for this at all.
I feel like every nurse is waiting for that moment. It's like, we don't have time for the doctor. I'm gonna have to do this shit.
Stop! No. You are very confused about how nurses function. That is literally the last thing I did. One second. So, yes, can we just talk about the priests and the Vatican and that whole situation?
Yeah.
Number one, the dude is like, yeah, I see that there's some daughters in the house. I see that people are getting killed. I can hear the demon in his deep-ass voice, but I can't help you because the Vatican is going to have to give you the okay. It's like,
no, they were like,
people?
These guys aren't Catholic. I don't know. I know what you want from me.
It's like, but
God,
they weren't.
Could you imagine if they were Jewish or some shit? They would be like, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do.
Talk to the synagogue, man, because we can't help you.
Talk about Jewish. Could you imagine if they were Muslim?
Yeah.
They would they would say that's God's will. We can't do nothing. Oh God. But yeah, no. In that scene, it is really scary, because the worst thing in the world is, the scary thing about that is, yes, when the sheet rips open and you see the actual scary demon face, obviously that's scary. When you hear the voices and you see her getting flung around and stuff, that is a little nuts. But like, she's trying to kill her daughter, and like that's the thing that it hurts the most to like wrap your head around, figure, like understand. But so your favorite scene? Do you have a favorite scene?
Probably the mom in the basement scene with the matches and then the clapping. They foreshadow everything, which is what the theory is. That like the dad was down there with the matches earlier, right? And it was kind of creepy. And then they played the clapping game earlier, and it was kind of creepy. And they just put that shit together.
So I have to say, I love scary movies, and this is like, when everything gets to the climax is really when I love my scary movies. And the second the dude says, I'm gonna do the exorcism, I'm like, yeah. But my favorite thing is, right, so they have this argument, and you can see like the relationship.
But that's like the classic thing, right? It's always like, we don't have time to get this bomb out. We're gonna have to defuse this shit right here.
Right? Red or blue, you decide, right? No, but my favorite thing is, and I keep saying that I really like the Warrens' relationship, because they have that conversation. He's like, I'm afraid. You've been possessed before. You see this shit. I don't get to see it. I just hear I see what everyone else sees. You see these demons. I'm afraid for you. She's like, we're doing this together, right? If God put us together, we'll do. Just a quick note, if you actually watch the movie, for some reason in the movie, when he's like, I'm gonna do the exorcism, instead of her saying, I'm gonna go grab the Bible, she's like, I'm gonna go grab the book. I'm like, okay, all right, I guess the good book, right? But the reason I love it so much is because he says, I'm gonna do the exorcism. You believe him. He starts saying the words. Literally the second the monster, the demon, does this like scary voice, he drops the holy water.
Fumbles the bag.
Right? It's like, talk about crumbling under pressure. There's no hope for this dude. Zero hope, right? But they power through. They get it done together. I don't understand if the demon gets stronger. Once the chair flips upside down, you start to lose the belief of the situation, because 1 second the demon's throwing away grown men, but she can't break out of the ties. Another second, the demon can control a gun without even touching it. And then the other one, he's running in the lady's body. I'm like, how strong are you? How strong are you not? What can you do? What can't you not? And it's all over the place, right? But that's what all of these movies are. But that's by far my favorite movie. It gets to this crescendo. You see the couple work together. Everything's as scary as it is. The demon is out and in the open. You finally see her doing her crazy demonic shit. That is, I think, definitely my favorite scene. It's just all the action. And the dude, the cop that gets bit on the face, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That was just rough. That was rough. All right, moving forward. Let's see here. Let's talk about this cast.
No,
Can
let's
we
do
talk
worst
about
scene
this
real
cast?
quick. Worst scene.
Oh my goodness, yes, worst scene. Go ahead, please. I forget.
The Warren's daughter at the house, bro. I was just like, what are we doing here?
Wait, say that again?
The Warren's daughter at the house.
The Warren's daughter at the house.
That when the daughter goes into the house, goes downstairs with the Annabelle doll.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
It's like,
So-
what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then they
so-
wait. The demon waits for the Warrens to get home.
Exactly. It's like, what is going on? I thought the house was haunted. I thought it had to do with them, but I guess it connected to the mom's body. Something. I tried to connect the dots. Logically, that didn't make sense for me in the movie. It did take me out a little bit from the movie, but for me, it was like, I love the setting up of this movie, but it was just the scene of like the family coming into the new house, right? And it's not the entire thing, because I did like the clapping game, so you understood that part, but everything else seems so stereotypical of a scary movie. The angsty teen in every movie, like the second she walks into the door, am I allowed to pick the room, or do I not get a choice in that too? I'm like, Mulberry, who does that? Why are you doing
Who
that?
gets exercise, bro? You're first.
Right? And then the thing that kills me too is the little girl is sitting by herself all the way out at the edge of the pond, playing with the creepiest toys ever. It's like, can you make it more?
Head in a swivel, parents. Let's just,
Right? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, that is definitely my worst scene. But it wasn't even that much. It was just the fact that it was just so many scary movie tropes. You could just make it a little bit more interesting than, how it actually ended up being.
MVPs and LVPs? Who you got?
MVP. So I'm torn between the husband and wife. But if I have to pick between,
Oh, I just picked them both. I said the Warrens.
oh, you did pick them both. Well, very good. But if you were, gun to my head, told me to pick one of the two, I think that I believe Ed Warren. Lorraine? Lorraine. I like her better because she has to do all. Exactly.
He plays it straight, kind of, but she does that shit where she's like, there's a being attached to you.
Exactly.
Right over your shoulder, and I was like, damn, bro.
Right? So definitely. I think she knocks it out of the park. I really enjoy it. I think their chemistry is fantastic. The husband and wife, the Carolyn Perrin, Roger Perrin, played by Lily Taylor and Ron Livingston. Exactly. There was no.
I gave it to Ron Livingston, actually. I gave it to Roger.
LVP?
Just takes L's left and right, dude.
All day, every day. You don't believe anything, bro. I can't tell what he's feeling, bro.
Dude, he needs to read The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, because him negotiating those trucking routes, it's just the worst negotiation. The guy's like, he's like, first off, you never say how desperate you are off the jump. The dude is just like, I need the money. I don't have a choice. You're my only option. And the guy was like, all right, half.
Yeah, he did not help himself in any way possible. I did not believe the chemistry at all, right? It just didn't work for me. And you're right, it has to go to Ron Livingston, because at least Lily got possessed. I mean, he was whispering into her
weak
ear.
shit left and right.
I'm like, come on, bro.
Your daughter's flying around the room. Dude, make a tackle. Make the tackle. I don't know what to say, bro. Don't just arm tackle.
Agreed.
You gotta make the tackle. You gotta get your daughter back, bro.
You gotta do something.
It takes a lot of
something. Agreed, 100%. All right, so anyone else in the cast that you really wanted to talk about? It's hard to say.
The kids were kids. I don't know.
The kids were kids, right? Exactly. You
They
just
weren't
started to mix them up.
They weren't bad, that you would remember them, and they were that's good. I mean, they were just good.
They did what they needed to do, right? And they did what they needed to do. I just an added note: the cop who shotgunned the door.
Yeah.
What did he know that the kid wasn't just standing behind? Like, can you kick it in first? Like, these cops want to shoot these guns. Like, bro,
So bad.
he
Against ghosts, bro.
he shotgunned a door open, bro. We're looking for children right now. Can we put the shotgun away? Put the shotgun away for a second, please. That just blew my mind. Blew my mind. Any quotables in this movie? Anything that really stood out to you that you were like, oh, this is it?
Yeah, we talked about I think it was my first favorite scene, but the infestation, oppression, possession. Ooh, when you hear when they're explaining it.
Oh,
in the
yes,
lecture,
yes,
and he's
yes.
First it's infestation, and then they cut to the Warrens. They cut to the parents, and they're just like hanging around. It's like then it's oppression, and then it's possession. And then it's like by the time you get to possession, they're cooked. And I'm just like, word, bro.
Right?
It's like if they ever do like a master class, you know those master classes?
Of course. That's
what
what you go
to. If they do a master class demonologist, that's gonna be like the trailer.
Infestation, whatever, possession. Close to right after that scene, and I wanted to talk about, like I said, the Warren's house. When they have that dude come over, and he's showing the guy around, he's like, yeah, just don't touch anything. Don't touch anything at all, right? And the dude's like, aren't you afraid? Like, why is it that you want to keep all these things here? And then he's just like, this is just a thing, a portal or whatever that they use.
Yeah,
and then when
and
he
he's
says,
like, we get it blessed once a month.
like, for real?
Like,
Great.
You gotta bump those numbers up, bro.
For real. And he says sometimes it's better to keep the genie in the bottle. I know that's a corny line. I know it's used everywhere. But in this context, I was like, ooh, good for you, right? So, yes, sometimes it's better to keep the genie in the bottle. But
how about a deadbolt on that door, though, huh?
Exactly.
Dude, let's not let your kid waltz in there any point in time, bro. Put 2 doors if you need to.
It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, they understand how crazy these things are. It's their job. Can you not get a storage unit? Can you not have an office? Can you not, like, even in the garage?
Why does a storage unit make so much sense?
Exactly.
So much sense, bro. But he's like, nah, I want to sleep literally 3 feet above the most dangerous dolls in the world.
And have my kid, my daughter, go play hide and seek in it. That's a great idea.
First off, you see how the kid's looking at those in the room in the first fucking place, bro. You know she wants to get in there.
It's wild. It's wild.
It's like showing a kid the gun, being like, whatever you do not use this gun.
Leaving it in a glass case on top of the TV.
Yeah, not locked.
Right? It's ridiculous. Let's finish this together. And then at the end, when I was telling you about the conversation that they were having together, I can't lose you. And then she's like, you won't lose me. And she then continues to say, let's finish this together. Loved it. It was just like, you had to say it. They did say it. And it's fantastic. And I think that's it for me for quotes.
Right. Yeah, I just have some notes, and I got the remake, and then I'm good.
All right, talk to me about the notes, because the only note I had was talking about the household and keeping the demons in your freaking back door. Ridiculous. But your notes, talk to me.
We talked about most of it, but I think the Ed Warren podcast would be dope. I think if they started that shit, the Ed and Lorraine podcast, I think that would be dope. I think a lot of people are out there, they want to listen to this shit. I think Joe Rogan would definitely have these guys on.
100%. That is more than.
He'd be like, I know there's no
Rogan's
science
alley.
behind this, but I really feel like you guys are on something. Have you guys tried DMT?
I heard elk meat keeps the demons away. I eat elk meat 3 times a week. No, the Ed Lorraine podcast, the Words podcast, would be fantastic, only because right now there's millions of people that day to day listen to astrology, cosmology. What's it called?
No. I'd rather listen to this shit than astrology. That shit makes shit's even worse, bro.
Of course it is, but I'm saying this is at least you can pretend it's based on stuff. Did you see the credits at the end? with the moving chairs and the lost footage stuff.
Yeah.
Like while the credits were rolling, there was like just pictures and stuff of like real footage, and it's like, bro, do you not have like there's obviously like a string attached to that chair and someone's pulling. It was like the most bullshit evidence, right? And I know that they made this huge movie out of it, but if that is 100% more evidence than astrology. So if they did have a podcast, it would be the greatest thing on the planet. Everyone and their mother. Yes, yes.
I have a question for you.
Talk.
Would you let all right? So the Warrens show up to your house. You're the husband, and they tell you that your family's possessed and that you need to get an exorcism. And then they go, "Deuces, we'll be back in the morning." Do you let them leave? I would not let them leave.
You don't let them leave, bro.
Deuces, you stay right here, bro.
No, but that's my point. My whole point is, it's because because that was prior to them saying I'm gonna do it on my own. They wanted to go talk to the priest and see if the priest would come do it. So you didn't know that at that point in the movie, the family didn't know that Ed could do the exorcism.
Yeah, but
Ed
they still they still knew that they were being possessed by demon and that they needed the exorcism. Make a phone call.
But when we
got phone lines here.
Call the priest. That's what I was gonna say. No, you're not going nowhere, boo boo. You're staying right here. Okay, I've never seen these demons. You hang out with them on the daily. You're staying. You're staying right here. Yeah. Yes. Agreed.
And then
any other notes?
Oh yeah, when they're explaining like the history of all the witch from Salem came down and haunted this land and has done all this shit. Dude, Bathsheba gives witches a bad name, bro. I don't know. I just feel like if Bathsheba is the first witch I meet, I might start hanging witches, bro.
Look, let's
right?
stop. Okay?
No,
Please,
I'm just saying. You can see where it comes from. Like, I don't know what came first. Did Bathsheba happen because of like the witch trials, or did the witch trials happen because Bathsheba was just?
If you live in a world with if you live in a world with witches, I think witches just end up being that scary as fuck. Listen, I hear you. But in what world did you think witches were good?
Dude, they have good witches. I know we did. They have good witches.
I know we did Harry Potter a few weeks ago, but this is a different kind of witch. Could you imagine Hermione doing this shit 10 years down the line?
You got dumped by Ron and now she's haunting houses.
What are you going to do, brother? What are you going to do? Are you ready for this remake?
Yeah. You want to go first or is it me?
So for me, I didn't do a remake because there's 3 Conjurings, bro. I wanted to talk about the sequels because this is, like you said, they did this.
I did a sequel too. I didn't do a remake.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying because there's so many more of them, bro. I'll talk after. You talk about the remake because I really do believe scary movies might be the hardest thing to make something new of. Because I feel like we've done everything that's scary. But go ahead, talk about the remake first. Go talk about the remake.
I like that they have, so you can pretty much do anything if you're doing a sequel because they have that whole room full of stuff. So you can just pick a random thing from there and be like, yo, this haunted house from this. So I was like, dude, what if it's present day, the Smith family, the house is haunted, entire house, and they have to call the Warrens. It's like Hollywood shit, and they're like, dude, wild shit's happening. Like, we gotta call help. And they're like, there's this old couple in Connecticut. They like used to do this a bunch. They flew them in private. They were retired, but they still have to do this shit. And then they like, it's the whole family, and they get haunted.
Are you talking about one of the 17 homes that they?
Yeah.
You're talking about the main Hollywood spot.
Calabasas spot, bro.
Calabasas spot. Look, listen. I want to jump onto this opportunity. I
Yeah,
really
Jaden,
do.
yeah, Willow.
But there's gonna be a whole lot of drama where August Hankin can run in the background.
They like freeze frame. Who's this motherfucker?
That's not a ghost. That's August running out.
What did she say? It's
entanglement.
Yeah, that's not a ghost. It's an entanglement.
Yeah, no, I think it would be dope. I like the idea, but it's definitely out there. And the idea of having an entire Hollywood family is perfect because and this is a great segue into my whole thing about scary movies. It makes it so hard to believe anymore. Once you've watched the 10 or 5 different big genres of scary movies, like a thriller, like a Jason who's chasing after you, like a getting possessed or paranormal activity, or like a gruesome hostile Saw movie, everything else becomes one of those things, right? And it's so hard to scare me with something new because there's only so many ways you can get scared. At some point, it's like, all right, there's a demon. It's gonna jump into someone's body and try to kill someone. Great. So I feel like, especially for The Conjuring, I really like it because it's 2013. It's super recent, and they have had sequels, both of which I think are great. The Nun and Insidious are fantastic. We might actually do one or both of those later. I really do like The Conjuring. It's really hard for me to get scared, and I used to love scary movies. So I like your idea. Let's flip this shit and let's make it about a Hollywood family. Will Smith, how can you do anything without Will Smith and not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Right? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that is it. But speaking of which, continuing on, again, I'm telling you, we do this for a living, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this segue. We talked about scary movies being a hard choice. The choice of movie we wanted to do before we chose The Conjuring. Mumburi, why don't you tell them what movie I chose and what movie we decided absolutely fucking not. Please tell me the movie we thought was a Millennial Classic until we turned it on.
We originally were gonna do Saw because that's it's like a Millennial Classic timeline, fits a timeline.
Yes.
Early 2000s, and then I watched it, and then I texted Swartic that this shit is out there, bro. And Swartic was like, yeah, this shit is wild. But it's a wild movie, bro. Danny Glover, I don't know, he looks like he's in a different movie. There's one point where he gets his throat slit, and I was like, he's dead, dude. There's no way that dude survives that.
You can't be alive after this. And then surprise, look.
This motherfucker is thriving. It's just really gory.
Yes.
I was not a fan. It's shot on like a webcam. I don't know, bro.
So you have to understand why we decided to pick it, because you guys like you said, number one, it's you say Saw, everyone knows Saw. There's been like 105 sequels, right? 3 different reboots, like 100 things. Like Saw made its own kind genre of scary movie, and of course, just do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to get scared and it's that Halloween frenzy good time, go ahead and you turn Saw on and you tell us how you feel, okay? As soon as you turn that off, you can turn on it's not a feel-good movie, and once you turn on Conjuring, you'll truly enjoy it. But yes, outside of the end where the dude decides to cut the leg off, and it's like the hardest thing to watch, and you see it, and it's gruesome as fuck, and yes, kudos to what that is, but the entire concept of Saw is some sycophantic psychopath kidnapping people with the most crazy
Actually, the twist at the end was pretty good though. When he just gets up from the fucking thing.
He's like, yo, what's good?
But I'd be like, I'd have, if I was in that room, I'd been like, this dude is alive, bro. I could see his chest moving up and down. He's breathing.
They were there for what? 18? How long was it? It was
hours,
an insane amount of time. You can't be laying there just doing nothing.
I would blink
nothing,
once,
right?
at least.
Yeah, the whole time he's definitely peeking, especially when they're yelling and screaming and dancing around. It's wild. It's nuts. It's Saw, you guys. Look, if I was forced to do it, sure, maybe. Is there a better? Do you think Saw 2 or Saw 3 could one day be on the list?
No.
I don't know.
I know
we'll have to figure it. Exactly, I agree.
The real movie should have been the therapy after surviving Jigsaw. I'd have watched that shit. Those guys in therapy after they surviving Jigsaw.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. Forget about it. Their lives are ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, They sleep with the lights on.
Yeah.
Security guards surrounding them every day. Forget about it. Could you imagine living in a city knowing that people just get kidnapped
No.
and tortured for days because they did one mistake
One
and
mistake.
they did some fucked up. But it's life. Ladies and gentlemen, that is The Conjuring. We are the Millennial Classics. Happy Halloween. Go enjoy your scary movies. Go do something wild, right? And if you don't know what to watch, The Conjuring is on that list. We enjoyed it. It's a Millennial Classic. Deuces.